Hello, everyone. A warm welcome from SCoT. Thank you for joining us today with another webinar series from Smart Community Tourism. Today, we are going to have a focused view on the destinations and the architect and coordinator of destinations. You might hear the word destination, and today your image for sure will change after we hear from two excellent experts of destinations and their wonderful job. Before we start, I'm going to ask Professor Jafari, who is the curator of this webinar series, Smart Community Tourism, to start with the welcome remark. Jafar, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Dr. Qasim, and good morning, good day, good evening to the participants. Thank you for joining us. We began the webinar series more than a year ago. We already have introduced, staged, delivered more than 25 webinars. We do approximately 2 webinars per month, and we do it in multilingual possibilities, sometimes in a foreign language as the main language of the webinar, but most of the time the main language is English with the simultaneous interpretation, which is available today. I understand, Professor Kazem, is available in Arabic today, correct?
Yes, those who are in Arabic, they can go to Arabic channel.
Excellent. The purpose of the webinar series that we began some 16 months ago is to concentrate on a segment of tourism which has been basically neglected, and that is the small communities in tourism, small operators, entrepreneurs, and the like. So the reason we do this is because they're larger operations, larger destinations, larger events, larger convention centers, larger airlines are all covered in the sense that the government is communicating with them, is supporting them, is working with them, is helping them. But unfortunately, small communities, small operators do not have this privilege. They don't know what they should do, where should they go in the times like the one that we are experiencing now, how to rebuild their destinations or business and the like. So we decided to transfer knowledge or intelligence of those small operators and small communities. And I'm very pleased that community is the center of, or destination is the center of this discussion. Of course, each destination has people, and people is really the center of aspect of guest or host. And what is important in today's presentation is quality. And quality has no boundaries, no borders. It could be small communities, large communities. It could be small destinations, large destinations. It could be small tourism, education programs, or hospitality programs. It could be large. So quality goes across the sectors of tourism industry and across the field of education as well. I don't want to say much more because by the purpose of my presence is to welcome you to the webinar series. You are here to hear the discussant, the panelists who are experts in the field. They are going to share their know-how with you, their experiences that they have had, strategies that they have designed, implemented, and they know it works, and basically recommendations for you to follow. And I'm sure the discussion, the panel discussion, and exchanges with the audience later on is going to be very fruitful. So once more, welcome to the webinar series. And Qasim, Dr. Qasim, you have.
Thank you, Jafar, and thank you all for joining us again. Today, as I mentioned in the beginning, we have invited two experts who are working close with the destination marketing organizations in a program that certified the quality of this act. Managing a destination is an art, and it's very important for creating a destination image. The word destination is much beyond geographical location, and the position of destination can't be only found on geographical maps. This position can be found in the image and in the mind of the tourists and the visitors. And what is created as the image of the destination is the result of the coordination of different part of the destination, different people who are responsible to create a destination image and the experience of the destination. So in or within a destination, there are many players, and the coordination is a major job, and this coordination doesn't happen at once. It needs planning, and this planning might be different from a destination to another. So we invited the UNWTO team who work with destination management organizations to share with us their experience, not only with documentation and the formulation of destination organization management, but also they're working in close relation with destination organization management around the world to check the quality of their work and to create a bigger family that all DMOs can collaborate and share lessons learned, and they can improve the quality of destination in such a collaboration. Today's webinar focuses on the knowledge that is necessary for this management and working with destinations. That's why we have Sonia and Patricia from UNWTO to explain what and how they are helping the DMOs. But it's not the end of the job. We are just going to start a series of webinars that after today, in the next volumes, we have a DMO from one part of the world. Those who have already got this quality certification and they are qualified by UNWTO.QUEST program to share with us their experience and their view of their destination, how they are authentic, and how the UNWTO.QUEST help them to strengthen their profession in the field. So we are with Sonia and Patricia. We have a limited time, and I feel that I don't want to disturb everybody with my low quality or low information DMO explanations, because we have the experts here. So I'm going to open the floor for Sonia and Patricia. We are all yours, and please feel free to introduce yourself and the program and share with us your expertise, and we are waiting. The floor is yours. Sonia.
Well, thank you very much, Kazem. First of all, we would like to thank you for inviting us and to be able to talk about destination management, the role of destination management organizations, and what tool UNWTO is giving to destination management organizations to be able to really strengthen their leadership, execution, and governance. And I would also like to thank Apu University, which is one of the members of the TED-Qual network, for organizing this event. Thank you so much. Patricia Carbona will be starting the presentation, and then I will be following.
Thank you very much, Sonia, for the introduction. Thank you very much, Kathem. Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here today, participating in this webinar. Thank you very much, Kathem and Ritsu Maken Asia Pacific University for inviting us to this important event. Today we will have the opportunity to discuss about DMOs and destination management and present the UNWTO.QUEST certification system. But before doing so, I would like to briefly tell you that we have a long-standing relationship with Kathem Bafadari. He is one of our UNWTO.QUEST, he's member of the UNWTO.QUEST advisory board, and he has been closely collaborating with us in the revision of the audit reports of DMOs already certified with the UNWTO.QUEST. So he has a strong knowledge and experience with the UNWTO and UNWTO Academy in the implementation of this certification process, and he has had the opportunity to learn and to provide us also with his valuable knowledge and experience in the field of destination management with the recently certified DMO in Canada. I will leave this to Kathem for further explanation on the coming sessions of webinars. I think the participants will have the opportunity to have some DMO certified on board. So without further delay, I would like to start my presentation. I'm going to share my screen. Okay. So I think you can see my screen now, I hope.
It's coming.
Okay. Perfect. So the focus of my presentation today in this SCoT webinar series is about the role of DMOs in destination management and in tourism recovery. As you all know, UNWTO is the World Tourism Organization, is the United Nations agency responsible for the promotion of responsible, sustainable, and universally accessible tourism. In UNWTO, we work for the promotion of tourism as a driver of economic growth, inclusive development, and environmental sustainability. As of today, UNWTO has 159 member states, plus 6 associate members and 2 observers, and we are the only we are the only UN agency with the private sector in our membership. We have over 500 affiliate members. Among them, many universities are members. So the academia is fully represented in UNWTO, and education is a very important area of work for UNWTO. I would like to start my presentation just setting the scene on the current situation of tourism. In the latest edition of our UNWTO Barometer, which is a flagship publication that is released several times throughout the year, the last edition was released in May, and the forthcoming edition is going to be published in shortly. According to the latest edition in May, the number of international tourist arrivals fell, as you can see in the screen, over 70% in comparison with the data from 2019. This represents a very important drop in the number of international tourist arrivals. All regions or all countries around the world have suffered the impact of the pandemic of COVID-19. You can see here in the screen the differences by regions. We can say that Asia and the Pacific have been the regions which have suffered maybe the most the impact of this COVID-19. And well, this is the situation as of today. There are, however, some signs of recovery according to the latest survey of the panel of experts, which UNWTO conducts regularly. And the experts, which are basically representing the private sector, say that they see some signs of recovery in the coming months, and especially in the summer in the northern hemisphere, despite the new waves of COVID-19. In some countries, we are living the 4th and 5th wave of this COVID-19 pandemic, but still we see some signs of recovery in the coming months. Still, the situation is very uncertain, and we will need to see how the situation evolves in the coming months. There are some changes that COVID-19 has produced in the tourism sector, and the question is whether these are short trends or if they have come to stay. We will need to see what is going on in the coming months and even in the coming years. But as of today, we can say that the traveler prefers to travel closer. Domestic tourism is one of the options of the tourism types which is preferred in these times of COVID-19, not only because many destinations around the world are closed or partially closed, and there are restrictions to travel, but also because many tourists feel more confident and they feel or they trust more if they stay in their own countries, in the domestic market. So this is one of the trends that the tourist prefers to travel closer. There is also a need to escape from the let's say from the uncertainty, from the problems that we are all experiencing in our lives, in our private lives, with our works, also with our personal lives. So people need to and are willing to travel. This is the good, let's say that the good news is that even if tourism is living a challenging moment, tourists are willing to resume travel, domestic travel, but also international travel. There are some new concerns that have emerged in the mind of travelers when they plan and book their travels, and these are mainly on health and safety measures. What are the health and safety measures in place at destination level? Am I going to travel to a place, to a destination where I can feel safe? If I go to a restaurant, if I stay in a hotel, if I participate in a tour. So these are new concerns which were not on the table before COVID-19, but are definitely and top of mind in the travelers' decisions when they plan their trips and they plan to travel. And there is an important aspect in which UNWTO is been working since the beginning of the pandemic, and is the need for harmonized protocols. We need to provide our stakeholders and also the potential tourists with clear protocols, health and safety protocols at destination level, and as much as possible, governments need to or should try to harmonize these protocols so that there are not big differences between countries, and so that the traveler has a sense of trust and confidence. And in this sense, this is one of the key issues in which UNWTO is working. There is also a new trend, and is due to the uncertainty of the situation and changing measures and regulations because of the different evolution of the pandemic in the countries. So the travelers tend to book their trips last minute, also because of this. And related, it doesn't appear on this slide, but there is also a new concern, and is the fact of the possibility of cancel your trip and get a refund. So this is also the cancellation policy is also one of the new trends. And finally, we see that many travelers are more aware of the need to resume tourism in a more sustainable and responsible way. And this is something which we will see maybe also in the coming years, that the tourism sector will need to restart more sustainably and more responsibly. In the coming slides, we will see the role of DMOs in destination management, starting from the destination management principles. First, we will need to define what do we understand by destination management. Well, for UNWTO, this is the coordinated management of all the elements that make up a tourism destination: attractions, amenities, access, marketing, and pricing. One of the main principles of destination management is the need for a coalition of the many organizations and stakeholders at destination level. They should work under a coherent strategy in pursuit of a common goal, which should be the competitiveness and sustainability of the destination. Here we could maybe say that the common goal would be the restart of tourism in our destination more sustainably and in a more competitive way. And this should be led and coordinated by a DMO, by a structure, a body in the destination, which may adopt different forms or different legally and administratively. The DMO may have different structures, but this destination management organization should be the entity leading the restart of tourism in the destination, to ensure it is managed in a competitive and sustainable way. And the smart destinations, let's say this is a step further in destination management. The possibility of having technology embedded into our tourism management in the destination, and how we apply this technology for the benefit of the tourist and also the resident, is a key concept which is behind the idea of smart destinations. There are some challenges in destination management which were already existed before the pandemic, and maybe these challenges are now more pressing, and it's the need to have a sound destination management at national and local levels, and these two levels should be coordinated. There is also a need for sound and planned management of tourism destinations to enhance the competitiveness and sustainability of the destinations, and the idea that DMOs or destination management should embrace a more broader concept of destination management and go beyond the traditional marketing role of DMOs, and have a more comprehensive and larger mandate of destination management at DMOs. The governance aspect is key in destination management, is one of the elements in which UNWTO.QUEST certification system focuses. This will be later explained by my colleague Sonia Figueras. It is key to strengthen the institutional capacities and the governance of DMOs, ensuring that they operate in a public-private community approach. Here we should also add the academy as one of the elements in this public-private community approach. The DMO should be the organizational entity to lead the way for the private sector, for the academia, for the residents also. It should be the leading entity in destination management in the destination, and the successful performance of DMOs will be determined by its capacity to obtain the credibility and the trust of all stakeholders, of all private stakeholders, and also from the local residents in the destination and beyond its boundaries. What are the main advantages of having sound and effective destination management? Well, a DMO or a sound destination management led by a DMO would help destinations have a competitive edge, to ensure the sustainability of the destination, to strengthen the institutional governance at destination level, to avoid overlapping of activities, of actions between different stakeholders, which may be working in the same area. So a DMO should avoid this overlapping of actions, activities, and competencies, let's say, and identify also those areas in which there are gaps which are not covered by any stakeholder, and the DMO should fill this void, this gap. Another advantage of having an effective destination management is that it contributes to spreading the benefits of tourism in the destination, in all the actors in the tourism value chain. So this is also a very important issue, how to integrate all the different stakeholders in the tourism value chain in the destination to formulate and implement a tourism policy for the destination, or a tourism plan for the destination, which fully integrates all these stakeholders in the tourism value chain, and the benefits of tourism are spread among the local community. It also, a sound destination management would also help build a tourism culture in the destination, to improve the tourism yield, and finally to build a strong and vibrant brand identity for the destination. The definition of DMO was adopted by the UNWTO General Assembly in 2017, and according to this definition, the DMO is the leading organizational entity which may encompass the various authorities, stakeholders, and professionals, and facilitates the partnerships towards a collective destination vision. There are all SDGs can be related to tourism, but there are 3 SDGs in which tourism is specifically mentioned, and these are SDG 8 on decent work and economic growth, SDG 12 on responsible consumption and production, and SDG 14 on life below water. In all these SDGs, the DMOs have a key role to ensure that these SDGs are that there is a commitment in the destination. at DMO level, but also among all the stakeholders in the destination, trying to meet these SDGs. And also the DMOs have a key role in ensuring that the UNWTO Global Code of Ethics for Tourism is applied or is embraced by the local stakeholders in the destination. The role of DMOs is mainly to initiate and to participate in the destination management. So the role goes from initiating to participating, facilitating, that is to facilitate that all stakeholders participate in the destination management, to partner with different private sector entities, also with other public sector entities in a vertical cooperation with the national tourism administrations, to search for partnerships, for alliances, with the academia, and also to coordinate, execute, and manage the tourism in the destination. The governance structures of DMOs may vary from a single public authority to a public-private partnership model, depending on the laws and regulations in the country, but also on the traditions of each country. The governance of structure of a DMO may adopt a different structure. As for the functions of the DMO, they may vary from national to regional and local levels, depending on the current and potential needs of the destination, and also depending on the level of decentralization of the public administration. So in some cases, we see DMOs operating in a local level, but in some other cases, DMOs may have like a more regional approach, or there is, in some cases, a DMO which represents different destinations. This is specifically, or this is more common in the case of small villages, and in the case of rural tourism, it is difficult to find a DMO in a small village. So sometimes there is a DMO which represents different local villages in the country. The DMO is always at the center, or should be always at the center of the destination. And one key aspect that the DMO should take into account when elaborating and implementing a tourism policy or a tourism plan for the destination is to conduct a consultation process, to know exactly what is the situation of tourism in the destination, and what are the needs and the concerns and the challenges for the stakeholders operating in the destination. And the local residents, the local community should also be included in this consultation process to have a feeling of what are their concerns. For example, in many destinations, local residents may perceive the tourist as a threat to the sustainability of the destination. So we need to be aware of what our local residents feel, and to work with them in designing a tourism plan which integrates the needs and the concerns of all the stakeholders in the destination. Once this scene is set, the DMO should fix a roadmap and formulate a tourism policy and a strategy to implement this tourism policy for the destination, which is adapted to the needs, competencies, and priorities, which are the result from the consultation process that was previously conducted. So in this way, we will ensure that in the implementation of the tourism plan for the destination, we have all the stakeholders aligned, and the local community is satisfied with the way in which tourism is managed in our destination. Once these policy lines are established, the DMO advances in the execution of these tasks according to its official mandate and according also to its organizational structure and its budget. There are three key performance areas at DMO level, which are also evaluated in UNWTO.QUEST certification system, and these are leadership, execution, and governance at the DMO. You can see in this screen different elements for each of these areas. I have selected some of them, which I think are all of them are important, but there are some key actions or elements which determine the success of the DMO in each of these key performance areas. And in the case of leadership, the capacity of the DMO to engage all the stakeholders in the destination and to lead the way. In the area of execution, one of the main elements, of course, is the strategic planning, but also its coordination and its measurement and monitoring through relevant KPIs. And in the area of governance, the DMO is key to ensure a public-private community partnership, which is that community to this element, to have a cross-cutting approach, which includes different areas. Sometimes tourism is regarded, I mean, tourism should not be regarded as an isolated element, because tourism is linked also to infrastructure, to connectivity, to different areas which may be beyond the mandate of the DMO, and in this case the DMO should work with other entities, with other stakeholders, to ensure that all these other elements are included in the tourism management. And also another element in governance is the inclusive growth, to ensure that our tourism plan includes all stakeholders, to include also accessibility elements for disabled travelers, etc. And also to ensure that all let's say all sectors and all the population benefits from the tourism. That is women, young people who can work in the tourism sector, entrepreneurships, entrepreneurs, etc. And also to ensure the alignment with the SDGs. In 2019, UNWTO prepared some guidelines for institutional strengthening of DMOs. We recommend you to download these guidelines. They are available for free in our e-library in English, Spanish, and Japanese. And in this part of my presentation, I'm going to focus on how DMOs can advance the restart of tourism destinations more competitively and more sustainably in light of the impact of COVID-19. One of the areas in which DMOs can work is through the UNWTO.QUEST certification system. This is a tool which UNWTO created years ago, and my colleague Sonia will further explain. Another very important issue, as I mentioned before, is the need to have health and safety protocols at destination level, and the need to have them harmonized at global level to avoid big differences between these protocols in different countries. So in this sense, UNWTO has been working with the International Standardization Organization in the elaboration of this of a publicly available standard, which was released in May this year. It is available upon purchase according to ISO rules. And this standard includes guidelines and recommendations for tourism organizations and businesses to reduce the spread of COVID-19 and provide safer services to tourists, but also to employees and residents. So this ISO standard does not only focus on the tourist, but also to provide a safer environment for the employees working in the tourism sector and also for the residents to minimize the possibility of spread of COVID-19 due to the tourism activity among the residents in the destination. So this standard covers 20 tourism subsectors. These are some examples: accommodation, restaurants, beaches, ski resorts, medical spas, tourism, tourist guides, tourist bus companies, rent-a-car companies, night leisure, meetings industry. There are 20 tourism sectors covered in this standard. And also UNWTO is providing technical assistance to UNWTO members upon request by the national tourism administrations on the creation and development of health and safety protocols. Some examples are the health and safety protocols developed by Vietnam, Egypt, and Jordan. In this with these three countries, UNWTO provided technical assistance in the elaboration of these health and safety protocols. We have also worked with the Asian Development Bank and Inter-American Development Bank in this field, and we are currently working on with Asian Development Bank in the development of health and safety protocols in Kazakhstan and Kyrgyz Republic in what they call the ABEC corridor. So this will be one of the first examples of joint health and safety protocols, which have been developed by two countries at the same time, and they are common for the two of them. And I am almost finishing my presentation. Sorry, because I think I have extended the time, the limit. But I would like to highlight the importance of data, of big data and market intelligence tools at DMO level. UNWTO has released some months ago a global tourism dashboard, which has different dashboards and tools. They are all available in our website, and we invite member states, and also at DMO level we also invite DMOs to use these tools and also to develop their own big data tools, because data will be key in the recovery of tourism at destination level. This is also one. Here I'm listing all the dashboards created by UNWTO. Some of them have been developed in-house. Well, all of them have been developed in-house, but some of them are in partnership with third parties. And here we have this example of the UNWTO AITA destination tracker, which was released some months ago. UNWTO has partnered with AITA, which is an affiliate member, to create this destination tracker, which is available online for free in our website, and it covers 4 main areas: health indicators. What are the, for example, if I wish to travel to whichever country, I can go to this destination tracker and see what is the incidence of COVID-19 in the last 14 days. I can see what is the rate of vaccination in that country, in that destination. What are the air travel restrictions? Am I requested to present a PCR or an antigen test? Do I need to be vaccinated to enter into the country? Do I need to present a document which explains that I have been vaccinated? what are, for example, if I need to wear a mask in the country or in the destination, if it is mandatory, the use of masks, if there are any curfews in place in the destination, and what are the health and safety protocols in place in the destination for restaurants, for accommodation, etc., and also whether the different activities at destination, whether they are open, closed, or restricted. For example, if restaurants are open or closed, or etc. No? So all this information is available in this destination tracker. And now I promise I'm finishing. One of the areas in which we see that there will be an important opportunity for members, for UNWTO member states to recover from COVID-19 is on rural tourism. So in this sense, UNWTO, and coinciding with the theme of the year for 2020, which has been extended also to 2029, for 2021, is the theme of tourism and rural development. In this sense, UNWTO prepare a set of guidelines to making tourism an effective tool for rural development. These guidelines are available also online on our website, and we believe that rural tourism will have an important role in the recovery of tourism in many countries. And in this sense, and related to the, we have recently launched the Best Tourism Villages pilot initiative, which is currently open. Member states can submit their applications for the villages, for up to 3 villages that they can present to this initiative. And the call for applications is open until the 31st of July. So there are still 2 weeks ahead for member states to submit their applications. Applications can only be submitted by the National Tourism Authority. So villages cannot apply individually. It has to be done through the Ministry of Tourism in the country. And finally, last week, UNWTO organized a Mayors Forum in Porto, in Portugal, and as a result of this event, the mayors who participated in this forum signed the Porto Declaration on Tourism and the Future of Cities. I would invite you all to download this Porto Declaration, which is available in our website, and you will see here the commitment of mayors of some key urban destinations on tourism and the future of tourism in urban destinations. And with this, I'm finishing my presentation. Here I leave you with my contact details in case you have any further question. You can always send an email to me. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Patricia. It was a lesson back again for myself. I learned a lot again from you, and I could trace your background. That is the taste of destination, and I can say, is the food and agriculture. I remember those days you worked for United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization, and when you talk about communities in the destination and community level, those people who are feeding the industry are very important. And the year of rural tourism is just perfect with this concept. I just want to recall your tourism value chain in the destination level and how DMOs can trace this, and they can find out the leakage of the economic benefit outside the destination. And this is a beautiful act of managing this value chain and see how it can be circulated, and the multiplier effect of tourism can be managed in a way that bring destination development. I I'm not allowed to talk more because I know whatever I say, Sonia is going to cover it with much more beautiful explanation. Sonia, thank you very much again for architecting this event and for accepting our invitation. When I asked Sonia for the first time, she always never say no to any request from us, but this time it was like, oh, can we do that in this time? And I said, okay, please let's see what we do, and that is really excellent. And this series are going to be even more kind of wake-up call for all destinations to unite and work how to build the post-COVID plan and management system. Sonia, floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Kazem. As I mentioned earlier, without you, I mean, this event would not be happening, and the next ones. Kazem had the great idea not only of us presenting destination management, the role of DMOs, and the quality certification system I'm going to be talking about very soon, but also to invite the DMOs that have been certified to present in the following months. So right now we're going to start presenting this quality certification system. And then later on, within the next few months, you would hear more in depth about the 4 destination management organizations that have been certified. And because I have seen some people on the list, I can see that some of the DMOs are already represented. And therefore, I would like to say buenos dias, good afternoon, and konbanwa. I hope I said it properly. Well, thank you so much, Kazem, and again to Rutsumekan Asian Pacific University. I still struggle with the name. I'm really sorry.
Don't worry. When I came to Japan, I had a year of that.
please don't get offended. I'm not good with names usually. As I was mentioning, it's member of the TED-QUAL certification system, which is a certification system for education and training programs. So it's also showing that APU has very good quality education, and that's why we were very happy to collaborate with Kazem, with many other projects that we have been talking about and we're talking about, but especially with these webinars that we have started today. So my name is Sonia Figueras, and I'm a program manager at UNWTO Academy, which is in the Principality of Andorra, a tiny country between France and Spain, and it really does exist. Kazem knows about it, so it does exist, and we are here to work for our member states and to assist them with their education and training, capacity building, with their human resources, the human capital of tourism. So now I'm going to be presenting, as I was mentioning, and let me share the screen, the quality certification system for destination management organizations. I believe you can see my screen. If not, please let me know.
Yes, you see it. Perfect.
Thank you. So this quality certification system, as I was mentioning, it is for destination management organizations, and we will see what type of organizations later on. And it was designed to enhance the excellence and efficiency of destination management organizations for sustainable tourism development of its destination. It is based on 3 key performance areas: leadership, execution, and governance. We will look into them later on. And they are evaluated with 60+ indicators, which englobe, among other areas, the Global Code of Ethics for Tourism, the Sustainable Tourism Objectives, and the Sustainable Development Goals. And sorry, I have a problem, it seems like, with sharing the screen. So one sec, with forwarding the screen. I don't know why.
We see slide number 2 now.
Now it's working. Thank you. Number 3, that's the one I wanted. So I'll first of all tell you how it works, because people want to know a little bit how the system works, and we insist on the word system. It's because first of all, you have a phase of analysis, then another one of improvement, and finally assessment. That means that not only we certify the destination and we say, yes, they're good in leadership, execution, and governance, but we help them to enhance their competitiveness and sustainability in leadership, execution, and governance. So what we first do as a first step within the first phase is that we give the indicators and the criteria, and the indicators to the DMO so they can evaluate themselves. So with this self-assessment, by the end of it, the DMO knows more or less what is their situation according to the criteria indicators of UNWTO.QUEST. With this information, then we select an auditor's team that does the pre-audit. And with the report of the pre-audit, we suggest the DMO an improvement proposal. We send an improvement proposal, and we suggest different sessions, capacity building sessions, which can be group workshops or classes, and also some one-to-one sessions, tutoring sessions, for example, where we say, okay, you have these gaps and we can help you with this training. Once we have trained them, the DMO updates their documentation, and then we audit, well, not us, the auditors team audits the DMO. With the report, then people like Kazem, as Patricia was mentioning earlier on, that he's a member of the advisory board of UNWTO.QUEST advisory board. We share it to different members of the advisory board, where they evaluate this report, the auditor's report. And then once we receive this feedback, again, it goes to the Secretariat of UNWTO for an extra supervision. And if it has successfully passed all these steps, the DMO, then it's certified for 4 years. But we don't say, okay, you have the certificate and that's it. No. During these 4 years, on the second year, we ask them to self-assess themselves again. And if they wish, we can do a documentary audit. Right now, 2 DMOs are in that phase. And one of the presenters I saw on the list, he's here, and he will be able to tell you when in a month or in a couple of months, when he's going to be talking of how it helps that already in the second year, they have to keep up to date and they have to update documents that we noticed they were not up to date, all the processes and structure that was not really up to date with the requirements of UNWTO.QUEST. And after these 2 years, then they go through the audit again. So again, we ask them to self-assess themselves before that, and then we do the audit. So you will see that's why we call it a system. And what is important for QUEST? Actually, it was designed not only to say, okay, the DMO is excellent in leadership, execution, and governance. But one of the other reasons as well was to familiarize the DMO with UNWTO's vision and knowledge in destination management, to also enhance the quality of the DMOs in leadership, execution, and governance. This is also very important for us. To build the capacities and competencies of the DMO staff and also of the destination stakeholders, because in our courses, we also welcome the destination stakeholders. And actually, one of the DMOs did that in one of their courses, and they were very happy because they noticed that then they all had the same base of knowledge and the vision for the destination. And it's helping them to work together for this vision of the destination. Even though before they knew each other and they had partnerships, that has strengthened even more the partnership and their collaboration to work together towards that vision. And finally, what is also important as an objective for QUEST is to facilitate knowledge between UNWTO and the destination management organization. We not only want to share our knowledge, but we want it to be a two-way communication and sharing knowledge. So this certification was based on, as I was saying, 3 key areas of work that we find very important any DMO, destination management organization, should be working on, which is leadership, execution, and governance. So for any destination, we believe that they should have strategic leadership and planning, management, and governance of tourism development in the destination. Also, it should have effective management of capacities, use of resources, and design of strategies and performance guidelines. And finally, efficient coordination and implementation of human, financial, and technical resources to advance the destination's quality and competitiveness. To be able to evaluate this within the quality certification system, we developed these 3, well, we actually more than developed, we cut these 3 key performance areas into criteria. And the criteria are what the DMO must do well to be successful. And their criteria into indicators, because that's the way we can measure them. And then the indicators are again divided into evidence to prove what is measurable. Once the DMO has successfully gone through this cycle and keeps on continuing with the cycle of the quality certification system of UNWTO.QUEST, then it has gained, I would say, leadership in the destination as regards strategic planning that englobes the different stakeholders, which are the authorities, the private sector, the academic sector, the different professionals, the local community, and also promotes partnerships and encourages and keeps on enhancing the partnerships for this collective vision of the destination. It also has adopted tools for the destination's innovation, stability, and competitiveness. It's developed strategies for that foster the integration of the stakeholders, in public, private, local community in the destination's management, has optimized human resources management and development of professional skills, and has improved efficiency and expertise in the destination's governance and management. This is what we believe that with the certification, the DMO gains. Now you will probably wonder how much it is. Actually, the figures are not that easy to explain because it has 2 different parameters and there is a situation. The 2 parameters are that it depends on UNDP's Human Development Index, where the DMO is in the country that it is, because we want it to be fair. Therefore, that's why we prefer to take that into consideration. And also about the number of staff that the DMO is working in. The staff are working in the DMO. We have certified a DMO that had 1.5 staff and another one that had almost 200. So we understand that the budget for these DMOs are going to be different. So these are the 2 parameters that we consider. And then one of the reasons that also affects the final budget is that it depends on the improvement phase, the phase 2, because we never know how many capacity building sessions the DMO is going to need, because it depends on the analysis phase, the first one, where the DMO self-assesses and then there is the pre-audit. So that also depends a lot. But to give you a general price, so you know how much it could be, I've been checking, and the DMOs have already paid from around 10,000 euros to almost 30,000 euros. But if you want to have a personalized quote, do not hesitate to write to us at quest@unwtoacademy.org. We will have that email address at the end again, so don't not worry. So I was saying that DMOs can apply, but which ones really? I'll give some examples with the 4 ones that have been already certified, so you know the different types of them. But we have noticed that it's most efficient and that the DMOs that work in leadership, execution, and governance are at local level and provincial level. And that's where the impact can be the biggest for the local community, for any type of community, rural community or city community. They do not need to be belong to a country that is a member state of UNWTO, nor affiliate members. So any DMO can apply. They only need to prove their legal constitution, and they need to provide a letter of support from their national tourism authority. This is just to make sure that it is a legal DMO in the country. So the 4 DMOs that have been certified started in 2018, and the first one was Punta del Este Convention and Visitors Bureau, and that's in Uruguay in South America. You may see many people, but actually that's the one that had only 1.5 staff. And it is, as I was saying, a bureau. So it's mainly the private sector, but the local and the national tourism administrations really support them. And they actually created what they call the QUEST Commission to work together for this certification. And right now they are on their 2nd year, and therefore we're going on to their 3rd year, but they are right now doing the self-assessment again. Sorry. The second DMO that got certified was in 2019, was Agencia Córdoba Turismo. And I've seen Marcelo here. Hola Marcelo, ¿qué tal? And that's in Argentina. And that's an agency that's from the public sector, from the local government, well, the provincial government. And it's a DMO that is at provincial level, whereas Punta del Este, it's at municipal level. In this case, you can see few people in the picture, but actually there are almost 200 staff in this DMO, or even more. Now I'm not sure if it's almost 200, almost 300, but it's quite a big and important DMO in Argentina, and they wanted to keep on getting better and better to give the better quality for their tourists. And the last 2 that have been certified were last year, 2020. The one on the left, Thompson Okanagan Tourism Association, is in British Columbia in Canada. And as you can see here, it's an association. And also they have very good relationship with their provincial government and their national government. And they're very well integrated also with the private sector in Thompson Okanagan. And this is an area within the province. So it's not a municipality and it's not a province, it's in between. And the last that has been certified is Fundación Mallorca Turisme. And this is an island in Spain. And this is a public foundation because it belongs to the local government. And they're also very well established. I'm sure many of you have heard of Mallorca if you're not in Europe. And if you're in Europe, you know very well Mallorca. You might have been there as well. It's very popular in Europe. And so you can see we have associations, foundations, bureaus, public agencies that have different dimensions of the destination, can be at very local level, at territory level, at provincial level, or island level in this case. And what they had in common is that they work in leadership, execution, and governance. So why did they want to apply these DMOs, and why is it interesting? Because it's a way to prove that you're committed to excellence, competitiveness, and sustainability. It also provides a tool to improve continuously. it also opens you a window to the international market and to internationalization, because you get recognized by UNWTO as a DMO of excellence, and therefore it also gives you prestige and another tool for promotion. Apart from this, also once you have been certified, you automatically become member of the QUEST network. And this gives you some specific benefits, like we give you special discounts for our courses by request of national tourism administrations in other countries, or with the universities, which also collaborate with the PI courses. And then also it allows you to ask specific courses for your staff, your destination stakeholders, or the country. And then it can also, we can also include you in other UNWTO Academy projects. So these are quite interesting advantages, without mentioning, of course, that you know, it gives a plus to the quality that you already have in your destination. And finally, I would like to finish this presentation with like the main objective of QUEST, which is to enhance and strengthen, or the motto for QUEST is enhance and strengthen the quality of leadership, execution and governance of destination management organizations for sustainable tourism development and a competitive destination. If you have any questions, Patricia and I will be happy to answer them now, or you can also write to us at these two emails in the next few days. We'll be very happy to receive your email and to answer them. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sonia. Indeed, it was very informative, and as always, you have something new. The new members of family are really the luckier one who joined earlier, but from your today's presentation, I also got to know that the process is not really a long one. I just want to mention that Professor Jafari, he lives, and I think he is right now in Mallorca. Am I right, Professor Jafari? So he lives and he teaches in Mallorca, and also, of course, he's based in Wisconsin South. So I've been there in one of the Tea Forum conferences that he organizes in Mallorca. When I was there, I was thinking that, I don't know if you have been in Beppu, Japan, that we have about over 20 million tourists in a small city with about 120,000 population. We have thousands of hot springs here, and Jafar has been also here. I was thinking that Mallorca is the Beppu of Japan, because I saw so many people there, and the local community, they were heavily involved in tourism. Thank you very much, and congratulations to have one of the DMOs certified from Mallorca. I want to ask Professor Jafari also to elaborate about what he knows about, I'm sure he knows that DMO. Jafar, do you want to comment on this?
Well, I didn't to contribute to the panel discussion because I do not know in the subject matter, but do I have familiarity with this? Yes, of course, we all have familiarity. It's basically the issue of the destinations to figure out if they need this external help or evaluation or assessment. And in my opinion, it would be a good process for the system. To me, a functioning destination is the one that all of its parts recognize that they need each other. I recall recently when we were inviting somebody to join one of our webinars, which deals with the small that person says, well, I am dealing with very large hotels. We are running very, very large hotels. The subject of your webinar would not be related to us. And I said, well, let me ask you this. How many hours of the day out of 24 hours of the day, how many hours of that are going to be in your hotel? A tourist. The answer is typically 10 hours, 11 hours. Okay, where are they going to be the rest of the time? At the destination in the community, which is made up of small and large operators. And most probably a returning guest would remark that some of the valuable experiences they had was outside of the hotel, in the community, at the destination. So if a hotel or large hotels think that they are master or king of the road, destination doesn't work like this. Experience of the tourist, it is fabricated at all levels of the destination. So it's very important for the destination to understand that a destination is like a human body, and all the vital organs and subordinated organs have to work together in order to succeed. They're not the big ones being the most important ones. All of them are equally important. Even if the little ones among them do not work, then it's going to damage the whole system. And you were using the word system. System means all pieces are working together. I was very happy to see that the tourism value chain was mentioned. Of course, the value chain is there if the value is throughout the chain, at the destination, and even the chains that connect to the destination. So this is a valuable experience, presentation or webinar for those destinations that are still trying to figure out who they are. Some of them even don't know what image they have. They have a map destination of physical sense, and they say we are a destination. The destination is not just depending on what is on the map, but depending on how the things on that map are functioning. So thank you very much for your presentations. And yes, Sonia, I am in Mallorca at this time.
Very nice.
Thank you, Sonia. Do you want to have a kind of panel discussion? Do you have a question to Patricia, or I can go ahead with a few questions? Maybe we can go to the audience as well. So I would like to ask everybody to write in the chat if you have questions, and we are going to collect the questions and direct it to our panelists as well.
While they are writing questions, I could also give examples of how this certification is also very useful for the local community, because what happens is often people think that it's a useful quality certification system for the destination management organization and that's it, but not really. It really helps everybody within the destination. That's why we want to focus this UNWTO.QUEST into the local and provincial level and not at a bigger level. And I'll mention two criteria and indicators so you can have an idea. First of all, with the strategic planning, it's one of the criteria. It's related to strategic planning. And for example, there is one of the evidence that is required is to prove that there is consultation with relevant stakeholders and the local community within the formulation of the strategic plan. So the strategic plan cannot be done just by the DMO. It has to involve everybody in the destination to include all the different visions and also the full vision of the destination. And also it not only requires a consultation, but also it requires a consultation for the updating and adjusting of the strategic plan. So it's a continuous consultation of the local community as well. And then another one, which might be more obvious, which is another indicator related to tourism culture. For example, criteria. It's a criteria related to tourism culture. one of the indicators, it says that, of course, it should promote tourism awareness within the destination with the local community, but also one of them that is related with the Global Code of Ethics for Tourism that I mentioned earlier on is that the DMO should advocate compliance with Article 5 of the Global Code of Ethics for Tourism, which is tourism a beneficial activity for host countries and communities. That's a must for us. I wanted to share this little information regarding the content of the criteria indicators, though we usually don't share it. We only share it with the DMOs that are going to go through the whole quality certification system.
Thank you, Sonia. Actually, when I
may jump in, Qasim,
yes, yes,
very
please.
happy that the community was re-emphasized. The community is made up of people, local people, and if they don't benefit, if the quality of life of local people is not improved by your tourism, that destination is going to lose. No matter how good they are going to lose. So the best that a community, a destination can have are the real stakeholder are the local people. And the worst enemy that any destination can have is the local. So this is very important to be internalized. Somebody like myself, whose major is culture anthropology, recognize the importance of community in the success of any destination, regardless.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Jafari. Yeah, I was thinking while you were presenting that as a tourism educator, also I saw that how the concept of DMO is an interlinkage of different courses that we are teaching. It does everything. It does tourism policy planning, tourism management, marketing, destination branding and image building. It has community building and so on. So yeah, I really would like to incorporate this information as an interlinkage of the tourism education. We have TEDCall, which is already doing this job, but maybe a better, let me say, or correct myself, a stronger linkage between TEDCall and Quest can also create a better platform for tourism development. And that will be my suggestion. Maybe yeah, doing some assignment myself first and then be all together. So we have more questions here. I saw one from Professor Cooper. Malcolm, do you want to comment yourself or I read your question?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, no, I wanted to comment more generally than that. Thank you very much for this great initiative to train leadership of destination marketing organizations. As Prof. Jafari says, it's the local that causes the problem. And you've got to have some form of leadership in there. I've worked with many DMOs over the years, and the primary problem is that they have no real way of managing all the actors involved. Well, I'd like to ask you, Sonia, I'm sorry, this might be a bit pointed, but I'd like to ask you how you're going to get on with all the other organizations that benchmark tourism, like GSTC, TEDCall.
Yes. Well, the different, can you hear me? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, actually, the other organizations do more accreditation than the certification system. So we have noticed that actually what we are proposing doesn't exist because, as I was mentioning, we don't only recognize the excellence of destination management organizations, but we go along with them and we make sure they keep up with that quality or improve that quality. So we have the added value of the improvement phase, which is capacity building sessions, and they can be asked during the audit period, but also outside of the audit period, which is happening with some DMOs right now. And so we want to make sure that they keep up to the level. And then it's not specific on, for example, sustainability or green tourism or other areas. We really look at the wholeness of the DMO. So I would say that's an added value for us, and we're very happy to collaborate with any other organizations. And we're reaching some organizations to be able to offer it together.
Thank you, Sonia. I think we have one question directed to Patricia. It's asking about Japanese DMOs and the language barrier. So is asking that, do you think they can just approach without consideration of these language barriers?
So what we are doing right now, because we are aware that DMOs are everywhere and they work in their own language. Though our working language is English, Spanish, and French, we also understand that other DMOs cannot be translating all the documentation. So we are already and have done that already with a couple of DMOs where we have the main auditors and then there is an assistant or junior auditor which understands the language of the DMO, and they are the ones checking all the documentation. So it's not a problem. Language will never be a problem. If anybody DMO wishes to reach us, we will find a way to communicate and to work with them.
Thank you very much, Sonia. If I may, just to add on this, to confirm that the issue of the language should not be a barrier for any DMO worldwide to participate in UNWTO.QUEST. We are committed to find, to explore the possibilities and the solutions to ensure that we can implement the UNWTO.QUEST in all countries, regardless of the language, and also the commitment of UNWTO.QUEST to DMOs in Japan, the guidelines for institutional strengthening of DMOs, which I mentioned in my presentation, which are available for free in our e-library, have been translated into Japanese. This is not very common. This is not very common in UNWTO to translate documents into non-official languages. As you know, Japanese is not a UNWTO official language, but we did the translation into Japanese. If I'm not wrong, Sonia, I think this was done in collaboration with a university in Japan, but I wouldn't like to say something incorrect, but I think it was done with Wakayama University, maybe, I don't know.
That's correct. With one of the sisters, Apu's sisters, TED-Qual universities in Japan, Wakayama University.
In any case, the guidelines are available in Japanese. So please, I invite you to download and to go through them. Thank you.
Thank you, Sonia, and thank you, Patricia. I just want to say APU and Wakayama and a recent university in Japan, they got certificated from UNWTO for TED-Qual. In the chat, we have a interesting comment or a question. It's from a small town in Patagonia, Argentina. It says we belong to a region that was recently declared as heritage, World Heritage, with 250,000 tourists a year. And it's Sarah, yeah. she met you, Sonia, a few years ago, and she's saying that it is very difficult to be able to participate in governance agendas. And I think she's asking how to collaborate or communicate between the international organization and national organization who will be involved in the process of certification. So maybe I ask Sonia to comment on this.
Buenos días, Sara. Wow, it's very early now in Argentina. It's amazing. It's great to see new names and old names. Yes, well, what happens is because we ask the commitment as well of the National Tourism Authority, sometimes it takes some time to get certified. For example, the 4 that have been certified, some of them started 3 or 4 years ago before they got certified. But we are here. We can assist you to, even if you don't have direct contact with your National Tourism Authority because you are at local level, we can assist you by providing you the contacts, and we can also introduce you to your National Tourism Authority if it were needed. Sometimes also due to different political changes, some situations get stopped, but we have noticed that because they see the relevance of it, any political parties see that it is important for their destination to have this continuous improvement and this going next to UNWTO with this tool, that they keep on working for it. And some DMOs are contacting us again after 3 or 4 or 5 years of inquiring about it, because they couldn't do it at the time, and now they can do it. So we will be here, don't worry. And Sara, los esperamos cuando quieran.
Sara, I have opened your mic if you want to talk. And Sara wrote something in Spanish in the chat that I'm sorry I can't understand. Maybe Professor Jafari can help me. Okay.
And we have also Pablo Gervasini. Interesting, from Argentina as well. That was another area. They were also inquiring about QUEST, and they are working towards it.
Thank you very much. If there is any more question, we can maybe accommodate 1 or 2 more questions because our time is just about 4 minutes past. Okay, we have 1 more question here from, again, somewhere maybe in Latin America. We implement integrated quality management in 12 destinations in Croatia, IQM destination. It is possible, but with full of coordination with DMO and company standards and process. So I think this is a comment only. Thank you very much. I want to emphasize again that this is the beginning of a new kind of one of the SCoT sub-series that we are going to focus on DMOs. DMOs are interlinked and let's say integrated with communities. This smart community tourism aims to create a dialogue in international level that these communities can learn from each other. The lessons that is going to be shared is going to improve the community level of understanding about the tourism industry itself and how to protect themselves and to create a better destination, as well as to increase their resiliency and risk management that we as the world community needed right now. And the DMO.QUEST quality certification program is one of the perfect, let's say, coordinators that can bring these smart communities together, work together, and learn the perfect or successful examples from each other. in the continue of this webinars, we are going to invite those DMOs who are certified by QUEST to bring their destination kind of inside out, and let us see how they are unique, in what ways they are unique, and what we can learn from them, and what we are going to be able to do in our destination after learning from each of them. We are not going to generalize solutions for all destinations, of course not, but we can learn always from each other. But for today, as this is the custom of SCoT webinar series, and Professor Jafari always asks this question to the panelists at the end, if Jafar let me ask his question, I would like to ask you guys to give us one takeout lesson. If these participants who are going to accompany us in the next webinar with a DMO, what is our takeout lesson for today, or if you have any assignment for us before that webinar, please let us know. I would like to start either with Sonia or Patricia. You're muted.
Patricia, would you like to start?
No, Sonia, please go ahead.
Okay, I think it's very interesting actually that you started this series of webinars, because usually we present how UNWTO sees destination management, the role of DMOs and UNWTO.QUEST, and we have very little time to look at how the DMO actually has experienced the certification period, and also what it can bring to the system and to share with other DMOs. So I would like to congratulate you on that, and I'm actually looking forward to the next webinars where we will hear the different DMOs to talk about themselves and how what they have learned, and how QUEST, UNWTO.QUEST has helped them. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Sonia. So this congrats goes to Jafar, who created this series, and we are just working with him and learning each time. Patricia?
Thank you very much, Kathem. Thank you very much, Jafar, for the initiative. It's a pleasure to have participated today in this webinar, explaining about the role and sharing what UNWTO is doing on destination management, about the role of DMOs, how we see DMOs as a key element in tourism management at destination level. From UNWTO, with UNWTO.QUEST certification system, we are fully available for DMOs and also for those member states in which a DMO system is not fully strengthened, and maybe they need support also to create a DMO system for the country. We are also available to provide you with our expertise, with our technical assistance upon request by the National Tourism Authority in the field of destination management. This is one of the key areas in which UNWTO is working. We were already doing this before the impact of COVID-19, but I think we are all very much aware of the need of an entity at destination level to lead the recovery of tourism and to rethink tourism in the destination. So let's try to be positive, to take some I wouldn't like to say good lessons or good aspects from the pandemic, because it's a tragedy. It's a tragedy in health terms, in personal terms, but I think it's a good moment to reflect on how things were being were being done in the past, and how we can restart tourism in a new way, or at least integrating elements which were not so much at the forefront of DMOs actions or activities. So let's try to be positive. Tourism has proved its resilience in the past with the financial crisis in 2008. Tourism was one of the sectors that helped many countries to recover. So we now need to believe that tourism will restart again. It will help the economies, the national economies and the local economies, and it is very important to include, and this was also mentioned by Kazem, to include all stakeholders in the tourism value chain for our destination, also to explore possible partnerships and alliances with other destinations in the surrounding destinations, and to fully include and incorporate the residents, the locals, the local community vision in tourism, not only in its planning, but also in its implementation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Patricia. I think with your kind offer for answering questions and collaborations, many of our SCoT followers are going to ask the questions that I'm going to forward it to you. And yeah, I just in advance, I thank you for your kind offer. Before I give the floor to Professor Jafari for final remarks, I saw some comments from Professor Cooper in the chat, and he wanted to maybe share some experience with DMO work. Am I right, Professor Cooper? Or you're muted, your mic is off.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so please go ahead.
I have a number of interesting anecdotes that might help with the organisation of DMOs in the past, in New Zealand and in Australia, and in Beppu. So
great.
I'd like to comment sometime.
Good. Thank you, Malcolm. Professor Cooper has been teaching maybe more than my age. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, and with a very long history in tourism and town and city planning. Thank you very much. So I would like to ask Professor Jafari to elaborate with the final remarks. Jafari, your voice was sometimes interrupted, so make sure that you're very close to your mic. Thank you very much.
Thank you. The voice is more clear now, and since you the matter of age when talking to Malcolm, I have to say that all of us belong to the last century. If anybody is from this century alone, would you please raise your hand? So we are all oldies, if you want. Nobody is from the new century. Patricia pulled it up very nicely, the community and the quality of life. And a lesson I relearned today. Yes, there's at the end of the road is quality of life, but this is quality of life for the local, as well as quality of life or experience for the tourists while they are at the destination. Both of those quality of lives would matter. And I want to make a sort of indirect conclusion or recommendation. We often talk about knowledge or knowing about the subject, etc. Knowledge is very theoretical, and the industry, as soon as you mention the word knowledge, they think we are talking about theory, not practice, etc. We started this T Forum series, and we changed the word knowledge and replaced it with intelligence. Intelligence is cooked knowledge, cooked with the recipe of the community, and each community has its own personality and characteristics. There are no two communities that have the same personality, and therefore knowledge should be used, cooked or boiled down to the taste of the local community so that the system or the value chain that we're talking about would. So knowledge in generic sense would not work. Intelligence in the tailor-made sense, at the community level sense, it makes a lot of sense. So I hope we start using the word intelligence more often than tourism intelligence. Thank you very much, Kasim, for all the time you devote to stage or to bring on the stage this wonderful webinars. Without you, it would be voiceless and faceless. Thank you very much for what you're doing.
Thank you, Jafar, and thanks all of you, especially our audience. Sonia mentioned that there are some DMOs in this crowd. I would like to thank all of you, those who haven't even received the QUEST certification. We want to learn from you, and we want to join forces to cook, as Jafar mentioned. So maybe the taste will be very strange if we all put all ingredients in the same pot, but we can create a food event and taste each other's food. Thank you so much. Before I close the webinar, I would like to take you to our website. This was today's webinar, and we learned from Patricia and Sonia. It will be continued, as I mentioned. Please watch our website, and if you go to our future webinars, you will see a new one is coming. This one will be in Japanese and English translation. So this one can give you directly access to some local communities in Japan, and they talk about the health and wellness in coming Saturday. Once again, I thank all of you for your active participation and for your support. Please direct your questions and your suggestions to us, and we will pass it on to our speakers today. Once again, thanks to the UNWTO.QUEST team for this wonderful event and support, and looking forward to future events. Thank you all.
Thank you very much, Kazem. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Have a nice day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.